Hello, everybody. My name's Ryan Phillips, and this past summer, I rode my bike across the second largest landmass in the world, Canada. And during that ride, we filmed a documentary through all the provinces from the West Coast all the way to the East Coast for mental health awareness. Unfortunately, due to the film industry being shut down pretty much and billions of dollars of revenue being lost, the documentary has now been put on standstill because of lack of funding. I've put all my funds into this film that I wanted to launch into the world as inspiration, that even though if you have a mental health issue, that you can put your mind to anything and actually achieve anything that your mind can actually conceive. So I'm asking you to watch this trailer with me, join with me on the journey, and let's do all our part together. Get this film out there, and let's try to heal as many minds as possible across the world. Thank you very much. Evidence from the World Health Organization. There are many reasons why I rode my bike across Canada, but the main message was for millions of people that are suffering in tremendous pain and silence to reach out for help. My name is Ryan Phillips, and I started playing hockey at the age of 2. Well, I left home at 16 to pursue my dream, and all I ever wanted was to be an NHL hockey player. So, my greatest dream turned into, my greatest... So, my greatest dream was to be an NHL hockey player, and through my hockey journey, I suffered 7 concussions, which my psychiatrist has attributed to a lot of trauma with my mental and my physical and emotional well-being. I was called bipolar, labeled bipolar, depression, anxiety, panic attacks. These all came into my experience about 5 or 6 years ago when I suffered some major losses with a relationship, and a few of my friends passed away, and I really didn't know how to cope with any of these tragic events that happen to so many people in life. And I was put on prescription drugs that I refused to take. And, fast forward a few years, I realized that I had to take action. And it was my deepest desire, because of what I went through, that I could show through action that riding across a country, of this magnitude, and being able to show with humble sincerity from my heart that so many millions of people are inflicted with mental anguish, mental health issues that, if they're not addressed, could lead to suicide, could lead to all kinds of physiological and mental breakdowns and whatnot that affect our daily lives. My life spun out of control completely. I literally lost everything but this vessel that you see in front of you right now. So we're going to keep watching. Because I was a rookie on the team, because I was a first-year player, there was initiations, there was hazing, there was bullying. PTSD about the whole deal has got me more... So my PTSD really kicks in hard from my hockey days as a professional hockey player. I was hazed, bullied. I'm not going to go into the depths completely of how I was treated by other members of my teams, but the initiations were absolutely grueling, disgusting. No human being should ever have to endure the physical and mental and emotional anguish that other players on these teams were inflicting upon others. And I was a victim of my environment. I was put into a bathroom with on the back of a bus with 6 or 7 guys, with all our clothes off, and we couldn't come out of the bathroom until all our clothes were untied and whatnot. It was absolutely, I can't put words to it on how degrading it was, and it made me feel so less than. It made me feel like I was just
a nobody. So we'll keep going here.
Oh, while I was playing professional hockey, I also became involved in the marijuana business. I was
So then, after all that happened, I thought I wasn't as good a player as I thought maybe I was, or other people thought I could be. Uh, I stopped believing in myself, and destructive behavior patterns started to come into my reality. I started selling marijuana and shipping it across into the United States of America. I was quite successful with it, but with what came with that was obviously the reality of organized crime is jail, death, or and addiction and substance abuse, and all three other than death did I experience. Death of my soul in many aspects, but a lot of my friends were killed due to being in that environment that I'm so far away from right now, and I hold no judgments to anybody that's in illegal activities. That's their choice, but for me, it was killing me on the inside and on the outside, and it was really hurting my loved ones as well.
apprehended by the FBI with 103 pounds of high grade marijuana in the year 2000. I was sentenced to 2 years in prison in the United States.
So as you can see, I did pay the ultimate price of losing my freedom. I spent over 500 days in a maximum federal penitentiary, and that was one of the hardest things I ever had happen to me, was actually losing my freedom. Having my freedom taken away was something that I still haven't completely made peace with, and I was able to actually make more peace with it as I did the ride, and having the purpose of actually being in on film and in camera and showing my vulnerability, that I'm no less and I'm no more than anybody else in this world. And we all go through stuff, and I went through my stuff obviously for a purpose that led me into doing this ride across Canada, and we'll keep going.
America. I used my time in prison to reflect on everything that had happened. When I was told that I had bipolar, it was a tremendous shock to me. I was in denial for a long time. My life started to spin out of control. I decided to reach out for help, and when I did, it was readily available. Today, Ryan Phillips is.
So through this, I discovered one of my major definite purposes in life is to help others that are suffering from mental health issues. And I will never, ever back down from that opportunity to help others when called upon. And my definiteness of purpose is definitely world service. And in that form, it takes obviously from the head down, but it starts at the top. And if we're not healthy mentally, then we can't really be of much service to anyone, especially ourselves. We need ourselves in order to give to others, and I had to rebuild myself back in order to give myself to other people in the world that I could help. And I humbly say this film has so many mechanisms that people who are struggling can connect to and really, really implement into their daily routine.
He left Victoria June 1st and says it's been an emotional trip. The message I have for people around the world is, if you're suffering from any mental health disorder, please reach out for help.
So thank you for watching the trailer with me. If I come off a little bit emotional, it's only because 6,800 kilometers across a country. I look back on it and it brings back a lot of memories, a lot of people that I met. I met thousands of people along the journey that cried on my shoulder, that hugged me. I visited numerous hospitals because my own anxiety was elevated. I was battling my mind on a daily basis. I wanted to do it in 60 days, but I did it in 63 days. I did my best to give myself the opportunity when called upon to do interviews with all the major media networks such as CBC, Global and CTV, which I'd like to extend infinite gratitude for helping me get my message out of hope and reaching out for help. And I want to say that I've never been one to ask for much. I'm a stubborn guy, but this documentary is a very important documentary that needs to get out to the world. So we're setting up a site on Patreon today, and any help to finish this documentary would be so greatly appreciated. And whatever I can do for you, I tell you, I can give you my commitment that I'll never back away from this cause. And I'm always readily available to answer as many questions as I can. If you reach out to me on social media, I'm very active on Instagram. My Instagram handle is at Ryan Phillips Warrior, and reach out to me if you have any questions with your mental health. I'm an open book, very transparent, and I care so much because obviously mental health doesn't only run deep in my family; it runs deep in many families with millions and billions of people around the world are affected by mental health. That's the reality. And if one person in your family has it, that means everybody is being affected. So together, we can come together as one, even in times of drastic crises and whatnot. And through film and through media and through just listening, through paying attention and understanding, knowing that we can actually help one another achieve well-being and our truest, highest potential and goodness. Have passion, practicing compassion, please.